Hello friends, welcome to my shop. My name is Harald. A while back I came across several Zinner slitting cutters with carbide inserts. My attempts to use these cutters for sawing failed miserably, so I had the idea of using the abundant carbide inserts for parting off on the lathe. As a trial run I modified the insert seat of a botched parting off tool. Initial tests with this quick and dirty holder were encouraging, and I decided to make a reasonably decent parting off tool blade for the Zinner inserts. A friend donated a piece of 1.2604 steel. The raw material is 3 mm thick and must first be milled down to 2 mm. I remove the nasty burrs with a file between milling passes. The surface finish is okayish, but of course not critical. I machine the backside in the same way. For additional support, I place a piece of sheet metal underneath. Obviously, it would have been easier to mill off 1 mm from one side, but I wanted to counteract any potential warping caused by internal stresses. That's approximately 2 mm, that works. I cut off the strip with a circular saw blade. The edges of the tool holder should be shaped like a gable roof with a 15-degree slope. I tilt the table of the milling machine accordingly. Here, precision down to the arcsecond isn't necessary, therefore adjusting using the scale is perfectly sufficient. The vise is trimmed as usual using a dial gauge. Here the cameraman wasn't paying attention and chose a frame that was too tight, so I had to reenact the tapping with the hammer. Here I'm milling the first section of the gable roof. After flipping the workpiece, I mill the second side by eye so that the ridge is reasonably centered. I machine the second edge accordingly. Off camera I milled the first seat, as a practice run so to speak. Now I'll show you the machining of the second seat. I clamped the blade into the appropriate holder borrowed from the lathe and clamped that into the vise of the milling machine. Using a 3mm end mill, I rough out the recess for the seat. The clamping isn't particularly stable and flexes under the tool pressure, but precision isn't the priority here. I widen the gap to approximately 3.4mm by adjusting the table by plus minus 0.2mm in the X direction. In much the same way, I mill out the cutout above the cutting edge of the insert. Well, my attempt to stabilize the whole thing with a square aluminium block placed underneath wasn't really successful. Now I need to mill the V-shaped grooves that will hold the cutting inserts. To do this, I tilt the milling head by 45 degrees. I am using a 2mm end mill. It fits just barely into the pre-milled cutout. I need to adjust the height of the cutter to the center of the workpiece. To do this, I slowly raise the table until the cutter just touches the surface of the blade. I use the camera image for this and also check by placing aluminium foil in between. I raise the table by 2 divided by square root 2 plus 1mm. That's 2.41mm. To check, I approach the edge in the X direction and mill some kind of scratch bars with minimal feed in the X direction. By eye, the groove is still a little bit below center. So I lower the table by about 0.2 of a millimeter and mill again. The selected infeed was a bit optimistic, but the position of the groove seems to be correct. That worked well, and I now mill the entire length of the groove. I do this at the maximum possible spindle speed of 1800 RPM and a very low feed rate of 5 mm per minute. Milling the groove takes just under 3 minutes. I repeat the whole process, adjusting the X-axis by 0.1 mm between each pass. Towards the end, I notice that the symmetry isn't quite perfect yet. I lower the table by 0.05 of a millimeter, adjust the X-axis by the same amount and mill again. Yes, that looks good. I'm using the camera here not only for filming, but also as some kind of measuring microscope. The top edge of the inserts is slightly beveled compared to the bottom. I measure about 6.5 degrees. To mill the corresponding counterpart, that is the upper groove, I rotate the vise by this angle. This isn't really critical. Since the mounting holes in the vise no longer align with the T-slots of the milling table, I have to get a little creative. Now I have a small problem, as the collet doesn't clear the clamping setup. Since I don't want to extend the stick out of the end mill any further, I slide the parting blade a bit out of the holder. Unfortunately, I make a senior error here and leave a stupid apprentice mark on the lower seat that has already been milled. It doesn't affect the functionality, but it dents my pride. Here too, I adjust the table height by eye. Since I have little clearance on the left, I have to feed more in the x-axis than I'd like. This causes slight vibrations in both the workpiece and the cutter, but in the end it works. After a few passes with a small feed in the x-axis, the insert just starts to slide in a little. I repeat the milling with small feeds until the insert fits. Finally, I try to harden the parting blade. The two butane burners are basically much too weak. I quench the work in preheated rapeseed oil. Since I'm not sure if I reach the critical temperature before quenching, I check to see if the material has hardened. The highly scientific file test says yes, it is hard. Still, I have to practice the hardening process in the future. Before tempering, I remove the scale with my poor man's surface grinder. I heat the workpiece until it turns a light blue, corresponding to a temperature of approximately 320 degrees Celsius. Okay, let me put the tool to a test. parting off a piece of round bar steel is successful. Yeah. Despite the minor hiccup with the dented lower seat, I'm satisfied with the result and can now make use of the numerous Zinner inserts I have at my disposal. In hindsight, I probably should have used a piece of pre-hardened tool-ox steel. That would have spared me the difficulties with hardening. And that brings this video to an end. Thank you very much for your interest. As always, I'd appreciate a like or subscribe. Constructive criticism is welcome, of course. My last video received some really great and in some cases critical comments, which I was very happy to receive. Thank you very much for that as well.